with for Universal Monsters. They won the gamut from some of the first movies ever made in the silent film era up to The Wolfman in 1941. Before we get into the maze, I just wanted to acknowledge, Universal Monsters has a rich, rich legacy. Obviously, there's all the actors that starred in these movies, but there's three people in particular that, to me, are kind of the unsung heroes of Universal Monsters. The man on the screen is Jack Pierce. Who's Jack Pierce?
Makeup.
Who's Jack Pierce? Makeup artist. That's right. Jack Pierce did the makeup. You can tell him, Chris.
Oh yeah, he did the makeup for Monsters. As a kid, I knew who he was actually, and he was really super. As a kid, very inspirational. The makeup industry, but he was somebody who was very special as a visionary.
And Jack, the kind of makeup Jack did was out of the kid. Meaning everything, there wasn't molds, there wasn't foam latex back in those days. Everything had to be created out of the kid. And he worked on the Universal Monster movies from Frankenstein, Dracula, 1931, all the way up through The Wolfman, 1941. And, what did he do at the very end of his career? Does anybody know? What was the last thing Jack Pierce did? Mr. Ed. Do you know the TV show with the talking horse? That's the last thing Mr. Pierce did before he died. So we wanted to give it up for Jack Pierce, true monster hero, never to be forgotten. This man, James Whale. Who's James Whale? Director, that's right. James Whale directed Frankenstein, The Bride of Frankenstein, The Old Dark House, The Invisible Man. He was one of the most influential people on molding and sculpting and creating these movies that we all know and love. A lot of these people had tragic endings. James Whale ended up drowning himself in his own swimming pool in the 1950s. But today, everybody remembers James Whale as the director of Frankenstein, The Bride of Frankenstein. So give it up for James Whale! And last but not least, probably the least known of all these guys, Carl Laemmle Jr. Does anybody know who that is? Carl Laemmle was the founder of Universal. He gave the studio over as far as the running of the production to his 21-year-old son, Carl Jr. And he is the guy who had the idea to make Dracula, Frankenstein. He championed all of those films. Universal lost the studio, or the Laemmles did, back in the late 1930s. He never made another movie again after he left Universal. 40 years. He actually died on the exact same day as his father. 40 years to the day that his father died, 1979. But from the time he left Universal, he never made another movie again. So give it up for Carl Laemmle Jr. Without these three guys, these movies would never have been made. After the movies came out, what happened? They came on television, and in the 1960s, there was this explosion in pop culture. It was called Monster Mania. And up on the screen, you can see some of the toys. I don't know if any of you guys remember. Did you have any of these?
Yeah, absolutely. You got the rule. I mean, it's really cool back then. Today, consumer products, I think it's really cool today.
And, like the Mummy Soakies, I took baths in the early 1970s with the Mummy Soaking. I had all of the Aurora monster models when I was a kid until the 4th of July when my brothers blew them all up with M80s. And then years later, I took them an original Creature of the Black Lagoon Aurora monster model and said, see this? This is worth $1,000 now. He blew it up with fireworks. But this is the world that Chris and I were born into. This is the world we grew up in. There was a monster craze going on at the time, and now I'm thinking I shouldn't have quoted The Exorcist. There we go. That's me. That's my 4th birthday. I told you guys the story at the beginning about how I saw Frankenstein when I was 4 years old. What's in the picture? An Aurora monster model for the Wolfman right next to me. After, I saw my first monster movie, I couldn't get enough. I had to see all of them. I'm sure you were the same way. Do you remember the first time you saw a Universal monster movie?
Yeah, I do actually. I was like 4 or 5, and at my public library, which was like a really old 4 or 5 story building, and it had all the creepy books at the top, at the 5th, where it had all the creeping and everything going on. What I would do actually is, my dad had an 8mm projector, and I would rent little 8mm reels of the classic monsters, and it would be just a mishmash of a bunch of different stuff. But I would rent those from my public library, and on Friday and Saturday nights I'd have my own little creature feature show at night in our living room.
Then how about Halloween? Because when I was a kid, hold on, there we go. That's Halloween. Every single Halloween I had to dress up as one of the Universal monsters. The Wolfman, the Mummy, tennis shoes, the gym socks, and Frankenstein. I don't know why I'm wearing a red cape in my Wolfman costume. I have no idea what I was going for at that time. Did you make costumes of the monsters?
No, I did actually. You know, I was big into makeup like I talked about. Actually, at the age of 8, I had a Dick Smith monster makeup kit, for any of you guys know what that is, actually. And actually, I still have it, actually, in the box and everything. And that was a big thing for me, is just to kind of crawl up into my own imagination, much like Dawn, and come up with these characters and produce those, especially during Halloween time. You know, for first grade through 5th grade, I had to make sure that I won the costume contest in elementary school every single year. So, in most of those years, we're dressed up, obviously, as the classic monsters. First grade was at Frankenstein.
Nice. Then I discovered you could go to Universal Studios Hollywood and meet the monsters. This is 1972. If you look at me in this picture, I look like a kid that's in love.
He's punched.
Yeah. And the poor guy playing the Wolfman's like, oh God, please, this kid's been following me around the park all day. Somebody take this kid away. And Universal growing up in the 70s, Frankenstein was more or less the unofficial mascot